The Nordic region, despite its relatively small population, has long maintained a reputation as a powerhouse of military-industrial innovation. Driven by the necessity of defending vast, sparsely populated territories against formidable potential adversaries, Finland and Sweden have developed indigenous defense industries that prioritize functionality, survivability, and adaptability to extreme climates. Within this context, two specific platforms have risen to global prominence, becoming the standard-bearers for their respective nations. Finland's Patria AMV, a wheeled armored modular vehicle, and Sweden's CV90, a tracked infantry fighting vehicle produced by BAE Systems Hägglunds. While these two nations are close geopolitical allies and now NATO members, their flagship land systems represent competing philosophies of warfare, the strategic mobility of wheels versus the tactical dominance of tracks. An analysis of their recent market performance and combat applications reveals a complex relationship where fierce commercial competition coexists with doctrinal complementarity. To understand the rivalry, one must first examine the divergent design philosophies that birthed these machines. The Finnish approach, embodied by the Patria AMV, armored modular vehicle, prioritizes operational mobility and cost efficiency. In a modern conflict, the ability to deploy forces rapidly over hundreds of kilometers of road networks without relying on heavy tank transporters is a significant strategic advantage. The Patria AMV, particularly the latest XP variant, offers a payload capacity of up to 32 tons while maintaining speeds exceeding 100 kilometers per hour. This design caters to a doctrine of rapid reaction, where forces must move quickly to plug gaps in defensive lines or conduct peacekeeping operations in distant theaters. It is not merely a personnel carrier. It serves as a modular platform that can be fitted with heavy weaponry, including 105mm or 120mm cannons, effectively blurring the line between a transport vehicle and a light tank. Conversely, the Swedish philosophy, represented by the combat vehicle 90, is rooted in the harsh realities of high-intensity combat in difficult terrain. The Swedish doctrine has historically assumed that roads might be destroyed or non-existent, and combat would occur in deep snow, thick forests, or marshlands. Under these conditions, wheels fail and tracks are mandatory. The CV90 was designed not just to transport troops, but to fight alongside main battle tanks engaging enemy armor and helicopters. The latest iteration, the CV90 MKIV, boasts a 1,000 horsepower engine and the integration of the Israeli Iron Fist active protection system, signaling a focus on survivability and firepower dominance. While the Patria AMV offers strategic agility, the CV90 offers tactical supremacy, designed to take a hit and keep fighting in conditions that would immobilize wheeled counterparts. The competition between these two platforms is most visible in the international export market, where they frequently vie for the same limited defense budgets. For many nations, particularly those with smaller economies, procuring both high-end wheeled and tracked fleets is fiscally impossible. Consequently, the choice often boils down to a trade-off between the lower life-cycle costs of the Patria AMV and the superior off-road performance of the CV90. Data indicates that wheeled vehicles generally incur 30 to 40% lower operating and maintenance costs compared to tracked vehicles over a life cycle. This economic reality has helped Patria secure a broad user base across 9 countries, including Poland, Slovenia, Croatia, and South Africa. A significant milestone for the Finnish manufacturer occurred recently in the Asia-Pacific region, marking a major victory in the global market. In a landmark decision finalized between 2022 and 2023, the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force selected the Patria AMV XP as its next-generation wheeled armored personnel carrier. This victory was particularly notable because Patria defeated a domestic competitor Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, in a market historically known for favoring indigenous Japanese solutions. The selection criteria emphasized the vehicle's proven reliability and superior protection levels, validating the finished design on a global stage. This contract demonstrates that even wealthy nations with strong domestic industries are recognizing the value of the specialized, modular approach perfected by Finnish engineers. However, the market dynamic is not purely a zero-sum game. There is a growing trend among NATO nations to operate mixed fleets, recognizing that neither platform can fully replace the other. A prime example of this synthesis is found in the recent modernization programs of the Slovak Republic. In a massive overhaul of its mechanized forces, Slovakia opted to procure both platforms simultaneously. The government approved the purchase of 76 Patria AMV-XP alongside 152 CV90 MKIV tracked vehicles. This procurement strategy illustrates the doctrinal acceptance of a high-low mix, or more accurately, a fast-heavy mix. The Patria fleet provides the Slovak Armed Forces with the ability to utilize road networks for rapid deployment, while the CV90 fleet forms the heavy mechanized fist capable of cross-country maneuvering and direct combat. This decision by Slovakia effectively highlights that while the manufacturers compete for contracts, the platforms themselves are complementary tools in a modern commander's arsenal. The theoretical debates regarding wheels versus tracks have been subjected to the ultimate test on the battlefields of Ukraine, where both platforms have seen active service. Poland has supplied Ukraine with the Rozomak, a licensed version of the Patria AMV, while Sweden has donated the CV90 Ford-OC. Reports from the field have provided invaluable data points for military analysts. The wheeled Rozomaks have been praised for their speed and quiet operation, allowing them to function effectively as battle taxis, ferrying troops in and out of hot zones and conducting medical evacuations rapidly. Their ability to cross water obstacles, a feature retained in many Patria variants, has also proven useful in the river-heavy terrain of Eastern Europe. Nevertheless, the limitations of wheeled platforms have also been exposed during the infamous Rasputitsa, the mud seasons of spring and autumn. The industrial implications of this rivalry also touch upon the broader topic of European strategic autonomy. Both the Patria AMV and the CV90 rely on a complex supply chain that spans the continent, yet they represent two distinct poles of Nordic industrial capability. The Patria program has been highly successful in technology transfer, allowing countries like Poland and South Africa to establish local production lines, thereby integrating the vehicle into their own national industrial bases. This franchise model has been key to Patria's widespread adoption. In contrast, the CV90 has traditionally been a more centralized product, though recent deals with the Czech Republic and Slovakia also include significant local industrial participation clauses, indicating that BAE Systems Hägglunds is adapting its business model to match the flexibility of its Finnish rival. Analyzing the trajectory of these two programs reveals that the future of Nordic land power lies in specialization rather than homogenization. The competition has driven innovation. Patria pushed the envelope on payload capacity with the XP variant to rival tracked vehicles, while BAE Systems pushed the CV90's mobility with active damping systems to rival the smoothness of wheeled vehicles. Yet, the physics of the battlefield remain unchanged. As Finland and Sweden integrate deeper into NATO command structures, their respective industrial champions are likely to secure distinct niches. The Finnish platform will continue to dominate the market for rapid reaction and motorized infantry units requiring strategic mobility and lower operating costs. The Swedish platform will remain the gold standard for heavy mechanized infantry brigades operating in the most demanding terrain and highest threat environments. In the final analysis, the relationship between the Patria AMV and the CV90 is reflective of the Finland-Sweden relationship itself, distinct, competitive, yet ultimately aligned toward the same security architecture.